Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. Strangle your demons and let's go.
Y'all need Jesus!
All rise. You may stand and place your hand upon your heart. If you are a veteran, you may render your salute, should you choose to do so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's a Veterans Day message, men. Of course, Veterans Day was Saturday, that being yesterday. And for me, I would say I enjoyed some of the greatest freedoms bestowed upon us. The ability to spend the day watching our son play baseball. And probably one of the purest sports that still exists and is emblematic of this great nation. But if you've been in any of those rooms whereby they still conduct the Pledge of Allegiance, whereby you are standing up and pledging your allegiance to our flag and this great nation. If you look around, those that are saluting and or those who simply stood, but their heels are locked, and one fist is clenched at the hemline of whatever pants they are wearing. Those are few and far between. Winston Churchill, in an address to the House of Commons, said, "Never before has so much been owed to so few." Now, of course, Winston Churchill was talking about the Battle of Britain and the Royal Air Force's unbelievable heroics in combating Hermann Goering's Luftwaffe before we ever got involved in the war, World War II. I don't hear our Congress and or president ever say much to that effect. Although we've been in a global war on terror for the last 20-something years. And do you realize, out of the entire American populace of living veterans today, we only comprise 7% of the American population. 1% of the American population, will ever put on a uniform. And out of our standing forces, those who stand at the ready, that is less than half of 1% of the current American population. So I would say that is very true. At this time of chaos, in this world in which we live and right here at home, never have we owed so much to so few. It is time to thank the American veteran. And it does not require much in this politically correct world of verbiage and false flattery. A simple thank you for your service goes a very long way. And typically, it was never done for much more than that. It simply was done because they believed in a pledge of allegiance to our flag, this nation, and those who reside in it. We owe them all, men and women, a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid. And we need to take care of them. Because guess what? In this last generation of warfare, and we don't have to be chronological, we can just say a generation is 25 years. We have sent these men and women all around the world, not against a massed army, subjugating dense world capitals, but for something a little bit more sinister. Yet these men and women did it anyway. These are the current veterans and all those still living. Very few now left from those wars of tyranny from before, back in the 40s. But now into wars for resources and money. And oftentimes, that takes an even more sincere belief. And go back 15 years before that. Limited involvement in engagements whereby we could exercise influence, control resources, and make money. Many have come back, and no different than in life when we have to explore what is our essence, what has happened, why did this occur. Our veterans' anxieties, concerns can simply be allayed by an interest in them, a willingness to help, and the reinforcement that their willingness to think beyond themselves and their immediate surroundings, very much unlike our general populace, is greatly appreciated. And that we are willing to understand their endurance, their love for one another, and look into that prism whereby they recognized that service to this country was valuable, that it was needed, and it will never be forgotten. And yes, one of those reasons is to support our veteran population. But unfortunately, to keep that small tip of the spear that will only ever exist for everything that is to come. And that, in tying it along to the movie The Sounds of Freedom, which made great fanfare but is now seemingly forgotten. That is very much like the American veteran who only gets propped up these days when our leaders are hiding behind them to conduct malfeasance somewhere else. Regardless of that, every single one of those men and women's actions have been heroic, and they willingly did it. Let's not forget. It's a simple message for Veterans Day 2023. And as Metallica used to say, for whom the bell tolls, it is only for them. And they rang it for you. Remember that. You already know which show that you tuned into. And until next time on the Comfortable in Chaos podcast, I bid you bon voyage, my burgeoning flock.
Until next time, like and subscribe to the Comfortable in Chaos